Defense mechanisms are the mind's way of protecting us from becoming fully aware of uncomfortable thoughts and emotions. At times, we may consciously rely on certain defense mechanisms like repression, denial, and rationalization. Below is a list of 10 of the most common defense mechanisms. 1. Displacement. The diversion of emotions such as anger from the original source to a substitute target. For example, your friend says something hurtful, and instead of confronting your friend, you later lash out at your sister. 2. Projection. The projection of one's own feelings, thoughts, or motives onto someone else. For example, a person who is cheating believes that their partner is cheating on them. 3. Rationalization. Developing false but plausible excuses to justify irrational and or unacceptable behavior. For example, stealing from a corporate chain store such as Best Buy and justifying the theft by saying they make millions in profits, so it doesn't matter. For reaction formation, behaving in a way opposite to how you truly feel. For example, when a person is romantically attracted to someone but strongly claims that they dislike that person. 5. Regression, reverting to childlike patterns of behavior. For example, a student gets a bad grade on their test and screams or cries at their parents or teacher. 6. Repression denial, pushing or burying distressing thoughts and feelings into the subconscious. For example, an addict will deny they have an addiction because they can function fine at work and at home. An example of repression would be a person who witnesses a crime being unable to remember the event. 7. Sublimation, the refocusing of unacceptable impulses and emotions into more acceptable ones. For example, a person who is experiencing aggressive impulses instead channels that energy into rigorous exercise. 8. Dissociation, the detachment from reality and from oneself and finding another representation of self to cope with extreme stress or conflict. A person who uses dissociation as a defense mechanism disconnects from reality and lives in their own world in which they do not experience unbearable thoughts, feelings, or memories for a period of time. 9. Intellectualization, overthinking and redirecting focus when confronted with unacceptable situations, behaviors, or impulses. For example, a person who has been told a close family member has died begins to focus on and overthink the details of planning a funeral instead of expressing their grief. 10. Compensation, the counterbalancing of perceived flaws or weaknesses by emphasizing strengths instead. For example, a person says they can't draw, but they are really good at dancing. What defense mechanisms do you use? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.